So
mess
Asian wouldn't
against
be a
so they're
race.
Yeah,
all
You
so
just
white
said
so
there's
so
domestic.
not
your
one
race,
Asian
hold on,
phenotype.
your race and your ethnicity. So you could be a white American, black American, but the race is physically your complexion,
Okay,
skin
your
tone, and
phenotype.
pigmentation
Then
and
Asian
phenotype.
wouldn't
That's
be a
it.
race. And Pacific
Exactly,
Islander wouldn't be a
exactly. I don't know
race.
why they put that in as a race. It should be
So
listed
wait,
as
but what I'm arguing against is somebody came up here and said, "Hi, there's only 6 races in America." Because there's a narrow definition of race, mind you, a narrow definition of race that that you've made up, by the way, that none of these categories would fit. Only white and black would fit based on what you just gave.
No.
And so
So
when I say there are hundreds of races, ways to identify someone's ethnic origin or race or phenotype, hundreds of ways of doing that
So
across the world
it's very
and in
specific.
America.
It's very You can be black and Asian by way of being a black person who lives in Asia, or you can be multiracial and be black and Asian and interracially black and Asian, ethnically black and Asian, but you cannot be racially a black Asian because you would be interracial by way of being black and Asian. However, Hispanics can be black or white.
Okay,
You think
and
an Asian person can't be
What?
black or white?
this is
You you
I just
you
said
know the
that
same
Asian
way
people
Spain
cannot be black or
colonized. You
white.
know what Hispanic means? It means colonized by Spain, Spanish speaking. You know the same way Spain colonized the Americas. You know they also did it to many
yeah,
Asian
but you don't
countries, right?
you don't have to take it that
But
far. I mean, if we're talking
what
about
do you
race,
don't have to
it's
say
not that
that?
hard. I'm just saying, we talking about
I
race,
don't have to apply
nationality, and
your logic
ethnicity. It's not that
universally. If
hard
that's
though.
what you're
Why are
saying,
we
I
having a
should
hard?
not apply your
I don't
logic
get.
universally.
No,
I think whenever
so
we go off the U.S.'s definitions of words and shit, it makes us all
No,
stupid.
no. I
and
Because
think
it
that
does
what's
none of it
US
make.
does not
happening,
define
I
race.
think that what's
Yeah,
happening
the
is
U.S.
that
did
we could
define race.
absolutely
Yes.
go off
No, it
of,
didn't.
no, we could absolutely go off of what the US defines as race, because that's simply what the US defines as race, not ethnicity, nothing else, or whatever the
Mhm.
case is. I think that the blending is wild to me. It's like, hello, there is a difference. And you guys are
but
getting
that's
them
why
actually really
So
confused.
when was
but
race
Just
that's
first
why
Google,
added to the
but
census?
say it again.
The
When was
US doesn't
race first
define
added to
race.
the
That is
census? Like
how
the
the
idea of
US
race.
defines races. So it
so
doesn't matter where ethnically, whatever it is that you are from, what you generally look like is what they want you to fill out.
Well,
so
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
because
of
it's
why
your
it's
course,
physical
yeah,
important.
trait. It's your
So
Ethnically
physical
is
trait.
so
different.
yeah. That's what
Okay.
we're
Because
saying. Yeah,
just like Zeus is saying, there are absolutely black Asians. You don't have to be mixed. There are black Asians, Indians. Hello? What are we talking about?
yeah, yeah. It's America wants you to put
So
black. Yeah, yeah, we're on the
what
same
you
page.
fill out, what you fill out is what you fill out. In listen, I put in whatever the hell I feel like. I just say eating me, mighty mo, because it doesn't fucking matter.
but the reason why it's important
I put
is
Sicilian just to throw them
because
off.
I just put both.
phenotypes allow people to be racist, right? So
Exactly.
like, the reason why this is important and the reason why it like sparked to me was because someone was saying, "Oh, can Spanish people or can immigrants be racist?" They indeed can be racist because specifically racism and anti-blackness in America is as long as you are not black, you have the ability to be racist towards black people and fill in the gaps that white people have applied to black folk in America, regardless of where you are from, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your culture, and anything else. If you are a white person, meaning if you are a white Hispanic, if you are a white Asian, if y'all are saying that white Asians exist, the closer you are to whiteness and the further you are from blackness allows you to be racist and benefit from systemic racism and racism in general in this country and the privilege that racism allows in this country. If you show up phenotypically white, that's why it's important. That's why saying, can Hispanic people be racist? They can, just because they speak English or they speak lesser English or are not from America does not mean that they can't be racist to black folk, because we also understand that racism happens in those Spanish speaking countries, in countries like Haiti, in countries like Dominican Republic, in countries like Mexico, where black folk are oftentimes looked at as trash, in places like India, in places like Thailand, where lighter type people get better treatment than darker type people. That is a thing, and it's impossible to say that like, oh well, you can't, just because you're not American or just because you are not black doesn't mean that you can't be like, yes, you can be racist, if
So
you
that
are not
defeats your
white.
own argument.
No,
And
you
the
can
argument
be.
that's made commonly in here is that race is based on systems of power, right? And you're talking about groups that lack, especially in America, right? Because we want to focus on America. You're talking about groups that lack systems of power. In fact,
So
even if we use,
the
if
system
we
in
use,
America.
hold on, if we use even like Native Americans, for example, who in every measurable way have less power than Black Americans in every single measurable way, whether you go through health, finance, debt, poverty, alcohol addiction, education, every every single representation in the law and politics, they black people beat them in every single way. It's the only group we do, in
Yes.
fact. And you agree, then you actually agree with us that those people can still leverage racism, even though they lack the systemic and structural power, which
You're
would
saying
mean,
you're saying that black people can be racist towards Native American folk. Is that what you're saying? But they
I'm
can't be racist
saying,
to white people.
because there are multiple races and power is fluid, you do not need to have the most power, like white people, to be racist. So a group like the Native Americans could be racist to black people, and a group like black people could be racist to Native Americans, even though neither of those groups have the ultimate power in the systems they inhabit.
So those people can be prejudiced, but racist, like white. The thing that's again in my brain is that white people have the power to be racist, and everyone else can be prejudiced, right? And the reason why is because white folk have the power to be racist, right? And the system itself is the power. And so like racism, anti-blackness is the power that people use. They don't need any other power. They don't need a financial backing. They don't need education. They don't need any of those things to be racist and to succeed based on the systematic racism that America has, as long as they are not black. Like, I don't understand how that's not a thing in America,
So
because
you
this country
see,
is set up,
I'm sorry.
because in America, because this country is set up on hating black folk, everyone who is not black gets to benefit from that.
So you would see how it then you would have to say things like the Korean people, they were killing black people during the riots, right? And assuming black people were going to do racial terror upon them, killing them preemptively and then getting away with it. You see how they are not racist, right? And you see how
How are
when
they
you
not
start saying stuff,
racist?
hold on. Once you start saying stuff like that, the term racist uses any and all utility. Once you can have people calling you a nigger, wishing you were dead, killing you, and then getting away with it, and have none of those people be called racist, you see how racism as a term completely loses its utility.
It doesn't lose its utility, because if all of those things are rooted in the systematic racism that white people have applied to black folk, then you are acting in racism.
But you see how a person who literally murders somebody based on their race and gets away with it based on their race, not being able to be called a racist under your definition, you see how that would not make sense to a lot of people.
But
Oh,
the
that's definitely
definition,
racist.
of
Yeah. I
racism,
think most people would say
the
that's
definition,
definitely racist.
It would be
yes,
a racist
because
Don't you
charge
think?
as well. It would be a hate
because
crime.
yes, because the definition of
Yeah, don't you
racism,
think we would legally define that as
yes,
a hate
yes,
crime?
Yeah, it
because
would be.
the definition of racism is an extreme prejudice against someone upon their race. So
Wait, is that not what we arguing about? The
so
And
definition
it
of
goes against
racism?
your point. Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah,
go
it
this.
super goes because means because black people can be extremely prejudiced, which means they can be racist.
Yes, but they can't
So
oppress
that
you.
answers that question. The answer is yes.
I mean, killing a
Boom,
white person is
done.
oppressing them, brother. I mean,
Killing,
What did you say,
so
Pocket?
the difference between
I said
killing,
killing a white person just because they're white. I mean,
but
that
also
is. I mean,
That's what
but
I thought.
you're not
That would be
oppressing
also
them because they're not
racism.
alive, but
but
you did take their
but
life. I
the
mean, it is
Yeah,
racist.
but the
You did take.
even
You
just
did
saying
take.
so
that to yourself, you
so
agree with
reverse
us.
so
You agree with
reverse
us. Let it
so
go. You
revert
proved yourself
so
wrong. Move
No,
on.
so
You lost.
reverse racism is not a thing, right?
Nobody said
So
anything
black
about reverse. You
so
agreed that
black
black
folk
people could
no
be racist. You just said yes.
so
You yourself just said yes.
black folk being racist or being prejudiced because of the cards that they were dealt in this
I'm
country
crying.
as what are you crying about? Are you
Because
sad?
you just said black people could be extremely prejudiced, and
Can we just
extreme
admit that
prejudice against
racism
race
comes in many
is a
forms? Can we
racism.
just admit?
You just said that. You did.
He only acknowledges the racism that comes with oppression or power.
He
With
just said, I'm
and
gonna quote him
but
again because I'm not tweaking. I'm gonna quote
That's
him.
the
not my
only
point, and you're
I'm
being
going to
definition of
quote
obtuse
him
to it.
racism.
again.
Yeah.
I asked you, right? And you said extreme prejudice against a race is racist. And I said, well, black people can be extremely prejudiced. Wouldn't that mean they could be racist? And you said yes, which is the
Just
literal answer to the question up top.
just because j- correlation does not mean like just
Nobody
because they
said that. You
correlate, right?
literally answered,
So,
can black people be racist? You said yes,
and my point being that,
which means
and
you agree with me.
because we're being obtuse and you're talking fast, you're
I'm not.
trying to
You agreed with
no,
me. You said yes,
no,
they can be
you're talking
racist.
fast again
I'm not. Come on, I'm talking fast.
because
Come on, please get a
because
grip.
because black folk are actually responding to racism by way of prejudice, right? It's not the same.
Yeah, it
Like
isn't.
Wait, hold on,
Yeah,
hold on.
that's right.
Prejudice
It
means off
wouldn't
of
be the
the
same.
no. Prejudice means
You
off of
just
no
said
facts or
black people can be
experience. So
racist.
that's not true because if you have the experience or the facts you're watching every day, you're not acting off of no facts or experience. I mean, off of off of opinion. You're acting off of the facts. So that wouldn't be prejudice. So that's where it all gets a
exactly
little
my
messy as
point.
well. No, but hold on, hold on. We can admit there are different forms of racism, interpersonal,
Mhm.
systemic. Can we say that at least? Can we agree on that at least?
Yes,
There
Racism,
are different
Absolutely.
forms.
But
baby,
yes.
I ain't gonna lie.
but do you
All
Racism is
this
understand?
just
leads to
racism.
the answer of
Like,
yes to
would
the
It's
to
an
title.
umbrella,
delineate.
man.
So
At
so
this point,
Zzz.
I'm not
I
sure. I'm
agree,
not
but
sure who that
all of
was.
this, as
S-
Jordan so
So
kindly answered for us,
really quick.
leads to answering the title with yes, which
So
Jordan agrees. He said yes himself.
so here is why I am saying no because
of the forms
when
of
you are
You
racism.
just said yes
no,
though.
no, here's
He's
why
not even talking.
no, no,
You
no,
just
I
said
am
yes.
talking to you. So the reason why I'm saying no, black people can't be racist is because of the fact that black people are responding to racism by way of prejudice. And because they have proof as to why they can be
So they aren't
prejudiced,
responding by way of prejudice.
no, they're
They're
not responding by
justified
way
in the response,
they're
right?
exactly.
And
And
that
Okay.
that's
wouldn't be
why it's not
prejudice. A
considered racism.
justified response isn't
So
prejudice.
so
They'd have to
a
be
random white person
unjustified.
who did nothing, man. I mean, I'm being dead serious right now, bro. A random white person, bro. You just see them on the fucking street and you knock them out because they white. I mean, is that just responding to the government? I mean, so that
Well,
just to me,
here,
that's where I get a little,
Yeah, that
it's
would
like
be
that seems
extreme
well, here's
interpersonal.
the
prejudice, which he
thing. Well,
said
here's
could
the
be
thing,
racist.
That
right?
seems just like a personal.
Like if we're gonna bring up a hypothetical that's extreme as that, you also gotta remember and understand that black people, we know we're on code because I mean, if
Some
you live
dude
in
just stabbed a
America,
white woman
well,
in the
hold on,
neck
hold
because
on,
she
hold on.
white.
Hey, yo, let me finish. Let me
Uh,
finish.
Now, Casey.
Get you.
Hey, Casey, haven't seen you in a while. But can she get her question answered and then you can start
Oh
and then
yeah,
finish?
okay, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
thank
do
you.
that. I'll
Because I
do
was gonna say we saw someone stab a woman in the neck on the bus. Say fuck white women. So I don't really understand. That wasn't a hypothetical.
that. You answer
So
your
that's in
question. Are you
response
gonna
to
answer your? Are you gonna answer
that's
your question?
to I think that's to Jordan. Jordan said that's in something about in response to prejudice or something like that. So
Yeah.
Jordan,
Yeah,
can
I
you
was just
answer that?
asking about the interpersonal.
Wait, so you're saying if a person has an interpersonal like reasoning,
Yes,
so
yes,
that
not an institutional or a systemic, but an interpersonal. Not a prejudice, but an interpersonal. I want to say, I can't word, but I would say, yeah, acting on a threat of violence or anger based on someone's skin color is racist, but it's interpersonal because they don't have the power to actually, take down communities or take down cities or start, having control of these cities, but it is within individuals on a day-to-day basis.
so the question is, can black people, like black people as a whole, be racist?
No,
No.
individuals,
Yeah, no,
individually.
individually, yes, but the
How
Okay,
topic
you
okay,
at
gonna
yeah,
add? How
yeah.
you
So
gonna
like
add words to the title?
Wow.
that's
Yeah,
not
The
you added
question
how did
is,
okay.
I
can
I
add
just
black
want to,
people
I
be
just wanted
racist?
to break.
how
Okay,
how did I
wait,
add
wait. So
how did I add
bracket,
a word
black
to the
people can be
title?
racist
So black
individually,
people
yes.
and they can be racist to you.
If they kill me for my skin tone or beat me up for my skin tone, I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
yeah, that's
I just was
But
wondering
okay, but
because
let
of the
me. Okay,
comment.
but now
Go
that
ahead, because I
individually.
gets
could have sworn you were
now that
saying how can
actually
black person be
so
racist to
yeah,
you. Then
that
you
That
Well,
But
actually
yeah, if
how?
gets
they're
me
killing me,
to,
yeah, but on Clubhouse, no.
but
I
that
want to
actually
know
Come
gets
how
on,
about
guys.
I
Look
want
at that title right here. It says, "Can Black people be racist?" Let's just answer that straightforward.
and I
Yes,
I'm
said
you
gonna answer.
can.
Yeah.
So
Can I?
it'll be Jordan, and then I'm sorry, Casey, I didn't forget about you. So
Okay,
Jordan,
for sure.
I didn't
so
hear your full response. It'll be
I said no, black people can't be racist, but a black person can be racist.
motherfucker.
Can two black
Those
Ah!
are two
persons
different.
be racist?
Yo,
Those
I'm
are
just glad
two.
that he's admitting it
Can
Those
because
are
there
two
are
two.
Let me
black
different
change the
forms of
fucking
Those
racism,
are
title.
man.
two
Like,
different
Nah,
things.
I ain't gonna lie. I
Jordan,
think
really
Oof.
quick,
Is it
really
Jordan.
going
quick.
over y'all's
Can
heads?
more than one black person be racist?
Whatever makes you feel better.
Or are we one and done? Like, only one black person
See,
can exist. Racist black person can exist per 100 years. Can more than one black person be racist?
What is
Yes or no?
racially
So I'll
prejudiced? Like,
so
what that?
so I'll
Yes
if
or
I
no,
can
Jordan?
if I can I refer to a moderator because y'all seem to not
I am a
want to
moderator.
understand.
So
No,
yes
no,
or
no.
no?
No. I'm asking, can I refer to a moderator to answer this question because y'all seem to not be hearing me. So Dami,
I
can
know
you
I can
answer
hear
this
you.
question because you seem to understand
Can
and
two
they don't.
black persons be racist? Yes or no, Jordan?
I'm asking if other person can answer
all
this
right,
question
so let's
because
move
y'all
Bro,
on to
seem to
just answer
be
the
Casey. Let's
question,
move
willfully
on
bro.
to Casey.
Damn.
All right,
because
Casey,
Just
it's
answer the
on you.
y'all
question.
are willfully y'all are
All
willfully
right, Jordan.
You're
Casey, it's on
done.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. As a whole, I don't think black people can be racist. I mean, for me personally, from what I deem what racism is, I mean, by definition, people want to go by definition, and that's just prejudice and everything like that. But you got to understand who wrote that definition. It's another white person. So
Bullshit.
of
That's a
course they're
cop
gonna
out.
make. You said what?
That's a cop out because that's everything that every person, including black people, have been using right now. So you're going to use the
Okay.
definition, but not use the definition when it don't work for you. That's just a little.
Well, the thing about that's interesting about words is words have to work in application. That's why like slang isn't considered words because even though a mass of people use it, people still have to
Some are,
determine like
some slang it.
the oh, never mind.
Yeah,
All
that
slang is
that was weak.
considered words, by the way. You would literally call them slang words. That's like it's literally short for slang words. They're all words.
Do y'all just argue or just want to hear a point? Like
Just to
I don't
Go
argue.
go
All right.
go ahead.
Anyways,
Go. Wait,
literally just
wait. I'm sorry.
arguing.
Did you share your full point?
No, no, I'm just
Okay. Just
because I
go.
mean I just got rebutted in the middle of my statement.
So,
And I didn't even get to finish. I'm just
all right. Just to let me know what you didn't get to say. Then go ahead.
okay, but I mean just to keep it short. I think racism works as a system more than it just works as an idea or ideology. So, I mean, a white person not liking me for being black, I mean, at this point in my life, I can't really say it's anything more than prejudice. But here's the problem with white people just not liking me for my skin tone, right? That because a lot of them have been indoctrinated for that to happen. A lot of them have been systemically taught for them to be like that. So for me, I can only look at racism as a system because that's literally how it enacts and presents itself in real life. Like when someone comes up to me as a black man and assumes that I might be a trouble or I might go into a store, I might be stealing. Guess what? That sends off other sound alarms for other white people to get on code for me to be out of that area or out of whatever space I'm in. So now that works in the system because we have more than one person enacting and literally like purveying their own biases on me, and that includes the police, that includes the justice system, that includes the medical profession, that includes a lot of different areas. So on the basis of just that alone, I don't think black people can be racist because what black nation or what black leaders or what group of black people are enacting or putting limiting and just preferential treatment for ourselves in to like because this is an important part to limit the progression of other people. Like how what is actually what power structure, what litigation, what laws are in place anywhere. We're not even just talk about America because racism exists everywhere. What nation do you know? Because every African country I know, most of them were gain their independence after like no before 1970. You know what I'm saying? And so most of the laws in African countries are written by white people. I'm from Nigeria. We are a British colony. most of what are in our bylaws and our constitution comes straight from Britain. So again, how can matter of fact, look at South Africa. At one point, South Africa was ran by white people, and they didn't even represent 80%. They didn't even represent even 10% of the whole population. So again, when there's a system enacted in place to limit people, that's when racism becomes it. And for me personally, I don't think a lot of black people, even when they're in power, do things to limit the progression of other people, because again, they were indoctrinated in that same ideology. So of course they would never enact against white people, because it would go against their best interest. Because white people, that's what they do when they don't get their way, they start killing shit.
So you know, in Ethiopia that has never been colonized, they have system of racism that people have been fighting against and protests against
What
for a long
racism?
time.
Racism against who?
Right. Different races. You know,
Like
because
what races?
you, the different races in
What
Ethiopia.
races?
You think everyone in Ethiopia considers themselves one race?
What race?
Do you
I'm
think
asking you
everyone in
specifics.
Ethiopia considers themselves one
What
race?
race?
Do you think everyone in
What
Ethiopia
race?
considers themselves?
I'm
Why can't
asking.
y'all answer yes
No,
or no
bro.
questions?
I'm asking you what
Why can
since.
you not answer yes or no
Well,
questions?
okay, because the thing is, what races are you talking about? Because
Do
I
you
mean,
think everyone in Ethiopia considers themselves one race?
bro, you're not answering my question. What races of people are
I
you
just
talking about?
because I asked you a question first.
And to clarify, what races are you talking about? Are you talking about black people? Are you talking about the Arab
So they don't
descendants? What do you?
consider they don't call them like race. Obviously, is a social construct. So the way their race is a little bit
Would be
different than
the
how we
ethnic
play
group,
here. So they
right?
wouldn't say, yeah, it would be more of an ethnic
Your
group or
tribal
some
group,
type of
right? So that's
tribal
not
group.
racism.
Yeah,
Like,
but there is absolutely discrimination and all that stuff
that's
based on
tribalism.
that.
Okay, so because
So that's a
okay,
little bit different. It's not just about tribalism because just like as you mentioned, there is something where it comes from, these different tribes actually do have different ethnic makeup. So that's a little bit different.
for being someone that's from a specific ethnic group, having an ethnic discrimination in itself is a very complex thing, but it's not racism, because most people that exist within that country, because we're talking about a continent where most people on that continent are black. Like, there's not like,
Okay.
so to say, because I mean, so to say if there's racism in
Black as
Ethiopia,
defined by who?
Yeah,
I mean,
black. Yeah, that's another thing. So like, you're if you don't want to apply how people do things or what they or how they split up
do y'all
the
think
groups
that
of
Africans are
people.
black?
Hello,
Like,
hello.
is
Hey,
that a
hey, is
thing?
my mic working? All right.
I mean, you cut me
So
off, so
not being
I'm just
able
being
to go
fair.
ahead and adhere to whatever they're splitting up their
Mhm.
individuals by, whether they call it race or tribal or whatever it is, then we can't just actually just say race. So all of them are black because that's not how they're applying it, right? Then you got to use what they're using over there. So if it be tribes, then it's tribes. If it be something else, then it's that. Then and oh well. So when you're like, oh well, everybody's black, if that's not how they're seeing it because they don't even adhere to that, then what then
Who is
we can't
they?
move on. The people that
These
are
Africans.
over in Africa. Hello?
Africans? I'm
Your
White
asking you.
people
overall,
too,
your
right?
this is
overall,
No,
your
people
I'm
overall
in
point,
African
Africa,
right
not
now,
people
and
in
I'm telling you
America.
I'm black. Like,
your
what are we
overall,
talking about?
Casey, your overall point was that Black people cannot be racist, or a Black person cannot be
Yeah,
racist.
just yeah. Go ahead.
Systemic racism is what racism is. There's no individualized or individual racism.
I mean, individualized racism. I mean, you would have to look under a very specific scope, and you would have to,
The
that's I,
individual.
yeah, like, I think that's a very niche group. So I don't even think that's an idea that I even subscribe to. Like,
So I
individualistic
thought the meaning
Doesn't
of
racism
God wasn't
exist.
as
individual.
for a black person, no, I don't.
It
You don't think a
absolutely
black you
exists.
don't think that an individual Black person or Black people individually can be racist?
I mean, racist against who?
Anyone.
For what though? Like, because again,
Mhm.
prejudice. I mean, you could be
The
prejudiced.
point is
Yes,
that it definitely shouldn't matter.
you could be prejudiced. Yeah, you could say you preferred and you don't like a specific group, but where racism becomes, because it's an ism, which again, when you take a definition and you add a suffix after it, it now transforms the word into something else. Like class is just a group in which you stand in. Now when you talk about classism, that's a system with that exists inside that, right? So
And the if means to act on it, right? The
It
Means to
ist,
act
the
on it.
suffix the ist suffix means to act on it, right?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I was making sure. My bad. I was
if you could define racism in the short, br- in a nice, clear, straightforward way, can you do it? If you want to just look it up or whatever, and
I
you
got
can
you
do
right
that
here. It
too. Yeah.
says racism is the prejudice, discrimination, or the antagonism by individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular race or ethnic group, typically that is a minority or marginalized.
Does that align with your position? That
Is that the
definition?
line with my
Does that align with your position right there?
I mean it's very ambiguous, so no.
Ambiguous. No, it
I
doesn't.
mean,
It doesn't
minority and
align.
marginalized kind of knock my shit out the park. I mean, that that could like really cut everything off.
Can I add to the conversation?
Sure.
Okay, so basically, okay, so from the UK and everything, yeah, black and everything. But when I was 14, the teacher sat us all down in a room and she said, this is what it is, yeah. She goes, the three main things is there's prejudice, which is is pretty much to prejudge someone before the facts. So you're seeing someone, you don't know anything about them, and you're prejudging them based on what you think you know. Yeah. So that could be about it could be to do with them being a woman, it could be to do them with disabled or whatever. And then you've got discrimination, and she said it's prejudice but with power. So say for example, you could be that same person that would prejudge, but you might be a bouncer at the door of a nightclub or something, and now you're a police officer, or you're a judge. So now you're prejudiced with power. So now that's discrimination because you're actually applying your prejudice. Um, and then she said racism is basically when a person feels they are superior just because of their race. So just because the person's black, or just because the person Asian, just because they're white, they have all these things that are better than the next race. So racism is more about superiority. So you think you're superior just because of your race. Now they overlap each other, and um, you'll get someone that's racist who thinks they're superior, and they prejudge the person, and they're in a position of power, like they're a judge or they're a lawyer or something, a police officer. So then that's where the issue comes, because it's the power part that is the issue. Because if the average person on the street was to say the N word to you or something, it's up to you if you want to take that on, if you want to make that offend you. But if that same person is a judge, that's a whole different story. So that's basically what I wanted to add. That's the main three things that she highlighted, and yeah, it actually makes sense to me.
Should we operate off the marginalized minority definition? Because I mean, do people operate off that in this room yet?
I mean, well, you would have to. I mean, why would you?
I just
How
didn't
would
hear
you
that in
do
the
that?
few other definitions. Because I was going to say, if it's that definition, this convo shut down because white people are marginalized. We're the minority.
White people are
I
marginalized.
said they aren't.
Oh,
NT
okay.
aren't.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, I
but
was about to say.
pockets, it said typically, so it doesn't mean it's excluding other
Ah,
people. It just
shit.
says it typically happens to this group, but it doesn't like,
Damn, Casey. Almost had it.
yeah.
No, I mean, still to. I mean, because I mean, we're talking only when we're talking about racism, right? Are we only talking about an American way, or are we talking about globally?
What does
God,
an
if it's
Because
American
that's
globally, I
way
mean, if it's
mean?
because
globally,
I
white
think it's
people are the
different.
minority.
Because it's
What
different.
what
Well,
what's
if
an
it's
American
globally,
way?
black people are the majority. We
Well,
talk about.
well, because in America, the racism is turned up to a notch because we're only 20% of the whole population. So
Yeah, but
that's
we're
a
only
that's a
4% in
different.
the UK. So
You said what?
the black people in the UK, we make up like 4%.
But can I say something, Casey, right quick?
No,
So
go
we're
My
ahead.
even
point.
smaller.
Go ahead.
I think some black
That's what
Americans
my
forget
I'm
that
not
it
Black
was
American.
no dogs, no Irish and no black people in the UK. So we weren't even allowed bank accounts I don't know why Black Americans keep forgetting
I'm not a
that
black
Britain
American.
is very racist too. And my granddad will tell you lots of stories of him getting beaten up just because he's a black man. So that we went through a lot of trauma and all the rest. I don't think it's fair to keep pretending that just the Americans went through racism.
The,
People in Germany go through racism.
well,
France
Other
racism.
countries.
It's
How
all
Who
over the
many
said
Well,
that?
times
place.
well,
have you
yeah,
beat a
well,
white
well, well,
man in
yes, well,
UK?
yes, but the creation of the Constitution, these different things that they have up to keep black people out of the way, is literally the basis of the formation of this country. Most of this country is backed off the backs of slavery, so that's why I mean it's a different type of thing because these are written in literal laws and bylaws that we go in the formation of this country. That's why I say it's different. I'm not saying that you didn't go through racism. I would be stupid and naive. Most black people that live in the UK are immigrants, specifically from either the islands or Africa. Like I'm aware of that. No one said that y'all that no one goes through racism over there or things that don't happen over there. I'm just saying it's different. That's why I'm asking.
Mm.
Yeah,
Dark.
my
Does
point of view on it.
is there any stories of your granddad beating up any white people over there in UK?
Bro,
Because I mean, typically it's one sided, right? Like it's not this thing where a group of black people are doing anything to the whites, keeping them out of neighborhoods or anything like that, right? I guess if severe poverty and like lack of upkeep and management is a thing, right? It's like ill, yuck. But
Well,
then they gentrify that though, right? Because then the prices are lower. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
ultimately, yeah, I don't think that black people can't even keep other groups out of their community, right? So like the power is a part of it. I don't know why we keep on excluding like the power resources and things like that that are associated with suppressing someone, right, or keeping someone from getting justice or whatever, right? Like, what's justice? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that it's a very interesting thing. People from across the pond try to make these I would like comparisons, because it's still racism. I don't think that I don't think that it's almost like which racism is more racism y, you know what I'm saying? And it's all terrible shit that white people perpetuate because of fear, right? Like this is you got to think that the majority of this shit, the lynchings, the black town burnings and the massacres and all this shit that happened in hundreds of thousands of towns and settlements across America. This was after slavery,
Yeah,
right? Like this was after
Jim
a lot
Crow
of niggas
during
was
they're
Jim
set
like
Crow.
free. That
Jim
was
Crow.
before the
Like
child
these white folks was like they're free, huh? We'll see about that.
Niggas
You
just
know what
only
I'm saying?
niggas
Like
only talk about Tulsa, but they don't
yeah,
talk about
like
all the other
Raven.
places they went through.
Rosewood, the New York. I mean, the park was a black
Bro,
settlement. These
Atlanta, bro, they
lakes,
bombed
these
Atlanta.
lakes, these
Yeah,
these
yo, what,
areas that are.
Ray, do you think black people can be racist?
I don't think by definition they can't be
Which part
right.
of the
Which
Like
Can I
they
definition?
can
speak
be
on it?
prejudiced. The
Can I explain it?
definition the definition of like oppression, right? Like the
No,
racist
I'm sorry. The
practice
definition of
systematic,
racism we're looking
just like
for.
racism without just like I still think it's prejudice.
I think that black people
That's
can. I think that
Can I,
anyone
Panda,
can
can
be
I explain it?
oppressive. I think anyone can be oppressive. I'm talking about
mm,
racist. The definition of
mm.
racism. Which
Well,
part?
I
yeah,
think prejudice. I think they can be prejudiced because this is the thing, right? It would be based on something that happened historically to them. Like if it wasn't actively happening, right? Like if Terrence Crawford, a multi-million-dollar boxer, didn't get pulled over by police and pulled out of his car, like you know what I mean? Like I would be like, huh, yeah, but you don't. That's not something that typically is happening in mass, right? And we have cameras, like we're seeing the evidence of police, right? That happen to be white folks doing weird shit to black people with money,
I'm
right? So
sorry. Where
even
in the
even
definition can black people
I
not
can
be
explain
racist?
it,
You said
Panda.
based on the definition. That's what I'm looking for.
So black people
Can he finish?
can be
Sorry about
racist,
that,
Yeah.
Nathan.
right?
Can he
Can Ray
finish,
finish?
please? I don't want to take it down a million other different directions. I'm just looking for that. Where it based on definition from what you're saying, based on definition, they cannot be racist. Where the definition can they not be racist?
Okay, what definition are you reading?
The
The one
definition
that
you
you're
were
referring.
referring to. Whatever definition you were referring to.
Okay, so let me just. All right, so by the basic definition, individual prejudice, right? Um, versus the academic or sociological definition, power and prejudice, right?
Mhm.
Um, so individual prejudice, like a person, right? But I didn't think the title was it written for one person being prejudiced, because I was still,
Is can a black person
what
be
how does that
racist?
racism show itself, right? Like, are we talking about opinions of white people or actions towards white people?
You said by definition, so I'm
Yeah,
looking
that's what I'm
for
saying.
where
Like,
you
yeah,
wait. How
there's two definitions, right? And one
of
is
what?
talking about
Racism,
prejudice.
right? You're looking up
Yeah,
racism or
racism. Yeah,
prejudice.
yeah,
Because I don't think the argument was about prejudice, right? Like the
yeah.
argument was
But the
about
thing is, it's not racist though. Like,
so you
it's
were
not
looking. Hold on,
racism.
I'm sorry. Just to get on the same
What?
page, you're saying that you were looking up prejudice or you were looking up racism as far as definitions. The definition that you were disputing.
They're saying that racism is defined by racial prejudice, bias, or
No.
discrimination.
You said
Well,
I asked you.
nonsense.
I said, can black people be racist? You said by definition they cannot be, and then I said which part of the
Yes,
definition
the academics,
said.
the definition of power, like, so. Generally, no. In the U.S. historical context, many scholars define racism as prejudice plus institutional power. Right? So it's in that regard, it is prejudice plus institutional power. Right? It's not
Black
excluded
people
of those
can't
things.
Black people can't be a
Racism
superintendent of a school.
requires systematic authority to enforce racial hierarchy. Like,
Black
that's
people can't be a superintendent of a school.
Can,
a
can I jump in on that?
superintendent of a
How many
school.
black
Yeah,
superintendents are there in the
Can I?
country?
Can I?
because
Don't
how
Can
Daughters
I
of
don't.
jump in?
many? How
Confederacy.
What
many?
are you?
That's
How
gonna
many
No,
do
answer
you
your
need?
question right
does it?
there.
Well,
It
that
does
goes
not
back to the
How many do
matter.
you
institutional
need?
power, though. Like,
Can I
national,
explain it better for
yeah,
you?
the
Because
national
you
averages
gotta
matter.
Does
understand
it
the
matter?
only way
Does it matter?
It
racism
does
Candy, you
matter.
have to be
No, I
patient.
don't think
They're
so.
talking.
okay, all
Why
Yeah,
right.
does it matter?
percentage wise, it
Where's
does.
the
It
numbers?
absolutely matters
What
percentage
number
wise.
is needed? What
Because
number is
because
needed?
because if we're basing it off of those numbers, how many black people own or operate any major industry in America? Like like the
Can
It's
black
control.
required
people
to be racist.
exercise
It's
that
crazy.
same power? You
No, what I'm saying
literally
is that
talk
there's no
about,
power.
Hold on, Panda.
you
You're actually
literally
low.
sit around,
Oh,
you're
I'm
lucky that
low.
Oh
you
wait, no.
have
Actually, my phone's low.
what
Sorry.
you individually call white slaves, right? And then you're saying like black people can't be racist. Luckily, you
Can
hired them. That makes you non-racist, right? But in your job, if in your companies, if you did not have
Hmm.
your quote unquote white slaves, what you like to call them, and you decided to only hire black people, then you would not be, you still wouldn't be racist.
no, because you don't understand. You don't understand the
Why
basics
can't
of
Ray
it.
talk for
The
himself,
human
Why
Nathan? If
control
you're just a
why
clause.
little
can't
bit
y'all
more
get out
patient,
the
I
That's
way?
promise
what
you,
I'm
I
talking
I, I
about.
can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Ray
Just
Yeah.
has
a
So
little
people
bit more
workers for
patience,
him. He
okay?
calls them white slaves,
yeah,
right? Which,
yeah,
we laugh at. I think it's hilarious.
yeah.
If you
But
only
I'm not
decided to hire
oppressing them
black
anyway.
people, all
Hmm.
right, then you're telling me that you are not racist?
No, I put positions of power. I don't put white people in like positions of power under my company that's attached to like my wealth. So there's a
Why
different, like.
that's so if white people do that, that's racist. When it's
No. I don't think it's racist when white people have like
don't
white
put
on bit.
black people in positions of power, block
No,
white
no,
people
no.
from positions of
I
power.
don't think it's racist for people to have like because they associate like the wealth, right? Like, if you go and look at any company that was started 50 years ago and prior, right? All of them, like, and it's literally scary. All of them are connected to slavery in some way or to oppress black people actively. They put their dollars towards campaigns with people running to discriminate against black people, like, specifically. And we can go down the
I'm sorry.
list and like
Could
just
you say
rant
that one more time? You said it
businesses
historically.
like businesses historically, banking institutions, insurance companies have been connected to not only slavery
But you're
but
talking
the
about
discrimin.
businesses larger than yours. We're talking about you.
I mean, there's less and less content now. So why would he stick around this app?
I'm going to
Why do
lose
you?
you momentarily, FYI, and then I'll pick it up again once my Wi Fi, once I
Um,
leave my street.
Because I like you, man.
I thought you were about to say wife.
Yeah, wifey. Where the wifey at, bro?
What happened to that really nice white girl you were dating?
Because I'm too hard on them. I lose my patience because I'm not a psych. I'm not a therapist. This is pro bono. I'm not even a speech language pathologist. Like, I can't address that to actually know how to speak correctly. And by correctly, I mean diction, enunciation, sentence structure.
World, excuse me, and cuddle.
Hey
Shut up,
Diego.
it's gonna get frozen.
Who's this?
Z.
Do we know each other?
Yeah, we know each other. I just changed my
Yeah.
PTR.
Are you the
I'm
one of
Isaac.
Nora's?
Yeah.
The one who was like uppity the other day?
Hmm?
You were uppity. The one that sent me a message saying, haha, you didn't block me?
Yeah.
This is one of my examples, Tim. This is a girl that I never met before I blocked her, and all of a sudden she popped up and she's like, "Oh yeah, I've known Nora forever."
What?
Yeah, just giving him examples,
Examples of what?
examples of the aftermath of blocking Nora.
What are you talking about?
You wanted me to unblock her, correct?
I mean, you can do what you want.
I'm
I
aware.
think that she was a good friend to you, and I think that she cares about you. That's why I said that. And it was coming from her, not me. Like
You
everything I
know,
was saying was actually coming from her.
you know. I'm gonna create an example for you. If she was a good friend to me, but on occasion said things that really hurt me, like you can't, like I don't know. Let me see, like your father's a failure. If she said stuff like that based on actual knowledge, I would probably remain friends with her. But comes to um when it comes to Nora, when she does something which I would consider the opposite of being a friend, it tends to negate the friend part. That's the gravity of the situation.
No, but you
Does that
can't
make
have it
sense?
both ways. You know why? Because I don't even know you guys that much. I mean, I know Nura, but I don't know your like. I've been in spaces with you where Nura is being degraded
Yeah,
by
but
you and your buddies.
see, you're missing the point. We degrade our friends only to try to push them up and make them better. Isn't that right, Tim?
Well, that's typically yes. That's how men interact. But sorry, I
It's
didn't
called
catch the
tough
beginning of that.
love. There's a big
But
difference.
but I don't even know what was just said. But I think the presumption there is that none of anything that's ever been said has been justified, which that's up for more than up for debate.
It's called tough love.
Okay, so if she's giving you tough love back,
But
then
No. Posting nudes of herself is not tough love.
yeah, self
Talking
destruction
about
is not tough. Self destruction is not tough love.
what were you saying to her that triggered her to well, you know what?
Nobody
I
has to
think a
say
lot
anything
no.
that's
It wasn't self-destruction. There's a lot of people in your own friend group that I'm not justifying what Nuda did. Like, okay. But there's a lot of people that use those things against her. And so to
well,
combat
frankly,
that, she
with respect,
sorry, T cut out.
you cut out, Tim.
you weren't you there, so
You cut out, Tim. I don't know. He's in the Matrix. Um, you're saying to combat people using her sexuality
Uh,
against her?
uh, all I said was, who said that?
We're listening. We can hear you now.
How, how? Listen, someone self-destructing isn't using anything against them. That's them using themselves
No,
against
no.
themselves.
So what happened was a lot of people in your group were keep on using
Look,
those photos against her.
respectfully, you're talking to people that, whether you like it or not, have known. We've all known each other for years. I don't even think I'm aware of who you are. So like, there's like years of context that you're missing. So just be aware of that.
That's true.
Okay, well, I think it's still like repairable, to be honest. I think,
Well, that's because you're missing years of context.
but why do you care if they're friends again? Like, what does that do to
Oh,
your and his?
I personally never made a claim.
I'm just saying, like, if Diego can be friends with her, a lot of people in his circle are advising against it. But why?
I don't know if I've heard that actually, but hey, what do I know?
No, right now I'm trying to
I
mend
think I
things
think I
between him
think
and
I think
Noodle,
I know, but I think Diego's
and
a
you're
big
over
boy.
here interjecting.
I'm pretty sure that Diego's a big boy. I think he made his decision up on his own mind, and none of
Yeah,
his
that's
people and none of the people that you may or may not be referring to were in the room when this happened, and he, on his own accord and volition, decided to block her. So there's no one unduly pressuring him. There's no one blah blah blah. This like I only know about it because I heard a recording of the conversation after the fact.
no. The thing is,
So again, I think there's huge amounts of context that you're just either missing or choosing to ignore. This isn't just a simple like grievance. This is a multi-year thing. Okay.
okay, so it's not reconcilable to you, Diego.
I don't think so. Because I tried to put pressure. I tried to basically block her on different mediums slowly. You know, for example, I blocked her on uh Instagram,
Hmm.
and then I blocked her on X, and I blocked her on Telegram. And I was trying to
Yeah.
basically put pressure saying, hey, you know, you're behaving in a way that I don't approve of. And I consider destructive towards me, meaning it's starting to create threats to me. And she would like say, I acknowledge that. And she would kind of try to appeal to me to unblock her, those partial blocks where she could still talk to me on a daily basis.
Hmm.
No. And the behavior did not change. And Tim on his own accord, actually, in his own way, can attest to the fact that like even he spent a lot of time and energy trying to help her change and giving her
More than I
right, Tim.
would care to admit, frankly.
Yeah.
So
And so like
it's
she would
not. It's none of
yeah,
this is for a lack of will or trying. This is
yeah,
not. This is not the first straw. This is not the first rodeo. Like it's a multi-year saga.
yeah. So this is a person that doesn't want to change, and that's
Hmm.
okay. But it's not it's okay if people don't change if it's not disruptive, but when it is disruptive and then they don't want to change, then you eventually everybody has a breaking point, and I think I hold the record for the highest threshold of breaking points.
Or sadomasochism.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when she started posting the nudes to the public, I was like, okay, I can't stand by this because, I, you know, if she's gonna degrade herself sexually, like I could have done that at any time. You know what I mean? I could have participated in that degradation, but now she's doing it on her own volition, and she was,
Frankly, um,
yeah.
Is
you know,
that
Oh,
is
don't
that what if
it's
she
the
never does it
it
again?
would be, well, these are just claims and promises. It's the benevolent thing to stop someone from hurting themselves, you know. And to the degree of the recording that I did hear, stopping someone doing certain further damage to themselves is not. That's
She
what
was
someone. That is an act of caring.
the next thing she was threatening to do was post a picture of her wet vagina, and that's when I just blocked her immediately right there because
I
I
don't
said like
think she would have done that. I think,
Well, whether I like it or not, I've unfortunately been sent more. Not quite that, but quite a lot of other things. So it would not surprise me, frankly.
and the twisted logic of hey, people are degrading me sexually,
If it
therefore I
actually
will
occurs.
post
Some
more
of the
pictures.
context, firstly, but
well, if you use what is out there, that is being used against you as something that
it's not
you
used against
control
it. It is a
yourself.
matter. It's a matter of fact. It's not being used against. It's not false. Anyway, Diego, I gotta go. I'm just going in for this dentist appointment.
Okay,
God knows what I'll be.
all right, I'll talk to you later. Um, no, but isn't that the same logic that girls that do prostitution and like pornography say? It's like my dad raped me, therefore I do porn to gain my sexual autonomy back.
Oh, I never heard of that one before.
Pretty sure that's what the whole daddy issues thing is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm not that smart. So I can't speak to you and debate you the way that
it's
you're
okay. You're only
talking
a
to
woman.
me.
We don't hold that against you. We just work
Okay,
with it.
see, that's offensive.
It's a joke. But see, women don't have senses of humor. That's why there are no funny women.
Oh, that's offensive too.
Oh man. Well,
Anyways,
that's one of the things I told Nuda, right? Is that these are essentially male spaces, and offenses will be taken, especially by women.
mhm. So
I
do you
come into
feel
these
like,
spaces under the assumption that there are no limits essentially on the internet. So if I get if I get offended, it's a me problem.
hmm, okay,
Yeah. See what I'm saying?
yeah. So did that bother you too? That like majority of your spaces were like male spaces, and she was joining them.
No, it didn't bother me. It only bothered me when it became disruptive, when it became the Nora show. Because then we would lose people. People would get out of the room.
Oh, okay.
For the short fact that it wasn't that entertaining,
Hmm.
right? If the drama had been more entertaining, then I think then maybe people would have stuck around
Why do
some
you
more.
have
But
so many anons?
because of Nora,
I don't think she's an
she created
anon.
a certain type of drama that certain types of bad actors want to know and want to be a part of.
Oh, she created these people.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's kind of bizarre. You should like go in your friends list and see like who has, or can you censor the club from anons or no?
Yeah, I can. I think there's a way to shut it down or make it less public.
Yeah,
But then the risk there is that no one comes into the rooms.
that's true.
Yeah.
Because right now, I have like three of my friends come in and leave.
You have three of your friends coming to leave. Is that what you said?
I said come in and leave.
Come in and leave. Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm talking about.
but you're a good guy. I think Nora's a good girl.
She's a good girl when it's the Nura that I like, but when
You
it's the
know,
demon Nura, she's a
can
bad
you
girl.
can you tell me about the Nora you like?
The Nura I like is sweet, soft spoken, and generally quiet in the rooms. She assists in keeping the room from going into dead air, as we would call it in the radio business. And that's it. Sometimes she participates in the jokes. The
Okay.
Jinn Nura, as she would call it, as an Arab would call it, is something else. Excuse me, I have to take this call.